Okay, maybe this will have sound. Okay. So I think there's like a significant delay. And the picture quality is garbage. I hate OBS. I meant to try StreamYard. So I think there's like a significant delay. Yeah, exactly, Clara. Always. It's because OBS. I'm sure it's user error, but literally, like every time I try to do this, there's like some other weird setting. I hate OBS. I meant to try StreamYard. So I was gonna try StreamYard, but I never got around to getting it figured out. So here we are. Yeah, exactly, Clara. Always. It's because OBS. I'm sure it's user error, but literally, like every time. And the problem is, I can't. Some other weird setting. Okay, I can't get the chat in OBS. So I was gonna. I could only see it on YouTube. So I have to have like OBS and YouTube up at the same time. So here we are. And it's so stupid. Okay. It's because OBS. So anyways, hi Amber, hi Clara, hi Paul. But literally, like every time. And sorry, Jamie, that we're gonna miss you on this one. Okay. I can't. Hopefully we'll see you at something soon. I could only see I'm gonna be putting up the poll for. So I have to have like the September Patreon call, probably soon. Okay. Within the next few days, or like for sure the next week. So anyways, hi Amber, because hi Clara, hi Paul. We're gonna have a weird schedule in September because we normally do our calls on like Saturdays, but I have something going every single weekend in September, so it's gonna have to be a different day. Putting up the poll for. So I have to have like the September Patreon call. The chat's not updating. Probably. Soon. Double voice, of course. Within the next few days. Hold on, like for sure the next week. So anyways, hi Amber, because hi Clara, hi Paul. We're gonna have a weird schedule in September because we normally do our calls on like Saturdays, but I have something going every single weekend in September. So, and of course the chat wasn't updating, so I didn't see anybody commenting about this double voice thing. I don't know why I even bother. This is such a mess. I literally run two businesses that deal with technology, and I can't ever figure this shit out. We're gonna have a weird schedule in September. Yeah, so the double voice being like a minute behind is how much of a lag there is. Every single weekend in September. So, and of course the chat wasn't updating, so I didn't see anybody commenting about this double voice thing. I don't know why I even bother. This is such a mess. I literally run two businesses that deal with technology, and I can't ever figure this shit out. Yeah, so the double voice being like a minute behind is how much of a lag there is. And of course the chat wasn't updating, so I Okay, so now let me know if you can hear me, and I will sit here. Same, Clara. Okay, can hear now? There's no echo? Okay, finally. What did this take, like 3 minutes, 5 minutes? I feel like that's an improvement. Awesome, gamer. It should hopefully stay this way. now that the settings are there, because there's 3 sounds for audio in OBS, 3 different settings for it, and so you just have to figure out like which one it is. And there's definitely still a lag for me. There's like I think it's like a 20-second lag or something. There's well, that's good, Charles. Well, thank you for being patient and working out these tech issues. New time record, exactly. We're improving each time. Oh, hopefully this will be the last time I use OBS, though. I don't know. Does anybody know what else everybody, like, for people who stream on, like, Twitch and stuff, what are they using? I mean, I can find out, but... So I don't really have an agenda for this. It's just been a while since I came on here on YouTube. Clara, so who was it? Was it Travis Views that I just sent you the Daisy Jones thing? I was like, hey, he's doing this, and of course you already knew. Yeah, so they're doing it, but I don't want to watch those reactions for the same reasons I don't, interact with any of the other content for shows that I'm reacting to on YouTube. So if you like, are they including the music? Like, how are they editing those? Because I feel like it would just be such a nightmare. I mean, I don't really need names because I'm not gonna go check it out. Just because, again, well, I mean, I guess I'm almost finished with it now, but yeah, I just feel like there's so much that can't be in that with the songs, and like the music is such a big part of what it is. I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like 3 seconds of songs each time. Honestly, I'm shocked they even are allowed to get 3 seconds. I've been dinged for 1 second of music before in a video. And it's gotten blocked for literally 1 second of music. Like it is extremely hit or miss. So I'm impressed they're getting 3 seconds worth. Carl, thanks for the comment. Can't stay. Well, glad you were able to hop in for a second. I appreciate it. And yeah, there was a lot. And my camera may have just cut out. I don't really know. We'll find out. Well, I hear an uh-oh. Video's off, of course. Can you still hear me? Okay, so I don't know what's going on. This literally is not... I literally did nothing. I'm just sitting here. Mercury's in retrograde, right? Isn't that what's happening? It can just fuck all the way off. I don't know what's going on. Yes, Awesome Gamer, we are going to have to retract it because I have my Elgato camera hub open. So I don't know what it's wanting me to do here because the camera hub doesn't even allow you to like connect to anything. Ugh. Let me see if I reconnect it in OBS. Stupid. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. Whatever I do, don't blink. Yeah. Ugh. I really don't know what's going on with this. There's no reason for it to be doing this. This is the same camera I use in every single reaction video and have been using for, months and months and months. So let me try removing it and adding it back. Nope, doesn't look like it's gonna work. Oh, for fuck's sake. I have no idea what's going on. So I may try and MacGyver this and pull up the video on my desktop and then try and share my screen, and we'll see how that goes. There's gonna be such a lag if I do that. Like, it's gonna be so jerky. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Unplug it, plug it back in. I essentially did that. I completely disconnected it from the streaming service and then like re-added it back, and it's still. And now it won't. Okay. It's been one of those weeks, months. It's been one of those everything. I have no idea. Like, it's here the way it's supposed to be. It's connected. Okay, maybe I fixed it. It'll take a second for you all to see it, but I might have fixed it. Yeah, so that's how long the lag is. Okay. Good Lord. All right, I think we're good again. Fingers crossed. Pray to the technology gods. And yes, Clara, thank you for mentioning that. I know absolutely nothing about the specials coming up later this year. There's actually lots of discussion about that over on Patreon and in the Discord on how we're going to handle that. So yes, please, no spoilers or no talking about it like in any shape, way, or form. Quality's a little better now. Well, that's good. I don't know why it's garbage to begin with, because it's literally the same camera that I film the reactions with, and I feel like the quality on those are fine. They're not amazing, but they're fine. Hi, is it Bryn? Is that how you pronounce it? Or is it supposed to be Brian? So Clara, are you well, okay, I'm not going to talk about it. We'll talk I'll find out over on Discord. I don't want to talk about the specials because I don't want anybody to like come in late and chime in or anything. So we'll just no talk of the specials, period. Thanks, Paul. Bryn, right the first time. Awesome. Well, welcome. It's been a shit show so far. Awesome Gamer. What? Did you go by that same name over there? I'm the absolute worst with names, and especially when they're not like people names, so that I can like put it with like a face or something. I mean, I barely remember the names of the characters in these shows half the time. Which, speaking of the shows, I feel like John, you're trying to avoid spoilers for them as well. Okay, yeah, that's right. I do remember that now. Awesome Gamer. Because you're by the same name on there, aren't you? You didn't go by a different name, right? Because some people are like different on YouTube versus Patreon versus Discord. Like they have different names everywhere. And so I am never sure if I'm talking to the same person unless like their profile pic's the same. And Clara, I don't... Oh, hey, Steven. Okay, so we do have a mod here. So, Steven, I don't know if you just hadn't chatted yet or if you just joined, but we were talking about, okay, yeah, same name. We were talking about no talk of the upcoming Doctor Who special since I know absolutely nothing. Which I don't know how, I just said I was going to talk about it, but just a quick update since some of you here are on the Discord and I think have been discussing this. Progress has been made. And I think that something will be going out publicly on Patreon in the next few days, potentially. Talks were had between myself and another individual whom you probably know, but he has requested that I not really like say his name. Talks were had today about things, details and such. So we're moving forward on that. Oh, okay. Amber, I didn't know that. I've never heard of that. The SJA special. Discuss it more maybe when I get to series 5. You know that's next week, right? Emma, Torchwood videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to handle it just like every other show. The pilot will come on here eventually. I don't know time frames yet. Because I don't want to like just put out a whole bunch of like pilots and stuff for shows that I can't keep up with if they do well. But I do plan on at least bringing the pilot to the channel as part of the pilot series, and we'll see what the reaction is. If there's like enough interest that it's going to justify doing the show, then yeah, I'm definitely happy to bring it to the channel if the interest is there. Clara, there's been new interviews this week. Yeah, haven't seen anything about it, so that's good. And it's extremely likely that I will. So that's why we're trying to keep it under wraps as possible, and maybe handling it in a certain way. But I don't want to share details until we actually know some things. There's some debate over whether or not I should wait for the SJA special until I'm a bit further into Classic Who, but you definitely can't until I finish SJA. Okay. Well, I'll be done with Sarah Jane Adventures in 3 weeks. I know, Amber. It is crazy that we're here. Like, yeah, it's wild. Okay, well, I'll let y'all figure that out. And you just tell me when I need to watch it. How long is it? I know, Clara. And that's the thing, like, I get Doctor Who content that comes up on Facebook and TikTok, which is like basically the only 2 places I spend my time. Well, I mean, and YouTube. But Doctor Who content does pop up. Like, it's not that I never see this stuff, because I absolutely do. I just have been fortunate that it's been for stuff I've already seen, or it's been stuff that I haven't necessarily seen yet, I don't think, but it's like not anything that spoils anything. So like I'll catch it just in time where it's like it starts off with like just a shot of the Doctor. You know what I mean? And I don't know what episode it's from. Like, it's just a random shot, like of their pet or something. So fortunately, I haven't been spoiled with Doctor Who on social media. Can't say the same about One Tree Hill. Still bitter about that. But yeah, I am getting the content though, even though like every time I mark that I'm like not interested, I don't want to see it. And I have multiple friends, like actual IRL friends who I care to see their life updates on Facebook, who are huge Doctor Who fans, and they post about it occasionally as well. So, and I can't really like, I know you can like snooze people for 30 days, but again, like I care about them. I want to know what's going on in their life, and I can't snooze them all the way until what, December or November, whenever these happen. So yeah, it is what it is. Oh, 10, 15 minutes. That's not long at all. Yeah, I'd totally be up for doing that as like a bonus reaction. for Patreon probably. Terry, hi. Well, I'm doing great now that we've got the technology figured out. It was a mess, so it's probably good you came in late. Psychosis Media, Red Dwarf is on. So anytime anybody makes a suggestion for shows like that, what I do is I put them into a spreadsheet, and then I pull from that spreadsheet and put them on a poll over on Patreon for like when I'm going to react to pilots. And then they get to pick which one they want to see. And I react to the pilot episode for it, and then we go from there. So Red Dwarf is on that list. So it is there. It's got to make it onto a poll, and then it would have to win. Claire, we do not mention One Tree Hill. Well, we don't mention getting spoiled on One Tree Hill because it makes me very angry. I can't, like, just one more week. If it had waited just one more week. Oh, Charles, you're avoiding interviews as well. Yeah. Late Paul. How far did you get in Sarah Jane? Whispers class. Merlin's cat. No, I have not seen Tom in Miranda. I didn't even know Miranda existed until the reaction went out today, and a few people had commented on it, and now I need to check it out. Charles, what's no longer on the American BBC? Yes, Psychosis. It's there. It's on the list, along with a ton of other shows. But it is there. Oh, you watched season 1? Yeah, it took me a little while, Paul, to get into it because it is. I mean, it is definitely a little more on the immature side, but I did find myself starting to like it more in season 2, and then series 3 definitely was good. Miranda was kind of bad. Well, see, and I think somebody in one of the comments also referred to it as like a sitcom, and I am not a sitcom person. But it's Tom Ellis, so I would be willing to give it a shot. I've never heard of Red Dwarf. I mean, other than, and Psychosis Media, I think you suggested that a long time ago. Yeah. Brittany usually loves what people call bad. Sometimes, yes. I do tend to sometimes have opposite views. Hence why the later seasons of Supernatural are actually my favorite. And I love the finale for the show, the final episode, and like literally about everyone else in the fandom hates it. British sci-fi. Red Dwarf is British sci-fi comedy? If you had asked me to guess what that was, that's not. I think I would have got the sci-fi, not the comedy part though. Red Dwarf is goated. Okay. Do I need to put Red Dwarf on a poll? I mean, we still have some other things, because just for those not on Patreon, what did we have on the most recent poll? We obviously had Good Omens, which is going through. Hi, Corey. So Good Omens is coming through. I can give an update on that in just a second if anybody's interested. And then I did the pilot for The Last of Us because it won in the poll over on Patreon. I wanted 2 pilots, and those 2 won. And then what else was on the list? Sandman, Wednesday, It's a Sin. I think that was it. I think that was all that was on that one. Was there one more? I don't remember if there's one more. I can look it up, but at this point, I'm afraid to touch anything on my computer. So I might pull it up on my phone or something. How far am I into Doctor Who? Terry, I just this week put out episode 4 in series 10, Knock Knock. So that's where I'm at. And then for Sarah Jane, Torchwood, I'm finished. I've been finished with that for months. And then Sarah Jane Adventures, I just wrapped up series 4. Yeah, Paul, I've had a couple people ask about like me doing Big Bang Theory because I've never seen Big Bang Theory. And that's kind of how I feel too. Like, I don't know that would really be like much of a reaction. John. Merlin's Cat, Sapphire and Steel has been mentioned. I don't really know anything about it. I just do. That name sounds familiar, so I know that it's been mentioned. And let me... Oh, God, I'm going to open up another window on my computer. Let's hope everything doesn't crash. Because I want to see what's on this pilot list and add things as they're being brought up if they're not. Sapphire and Steel actually was not on there. So I will add that. Just kidding. It was on there. I just apparently don't know how to freaking spell, so I wasn't looking in the right spot. Because it's one of those days. Okay. So I like Desperate Housewives. That is on the list. I do know that that's on the pilot list to put on a poll at some point because I have never seen Desperate Housewives. The thing too is like, I mean, I do have to kind of think about like, because it takes so much time to edit these videos for YouTube. I have to think about what's gonna like perform well, to like make it worth it. Because it takes about 6 to 8 hours to edit one reaction for YouTube. And that's not including like recording it, doing the Patreon version, any of that. Clara, Outlander season 6 and 7 would be a good reaction so you can finally watch them. Potentially, okay. If it makes you feel any better, I did start an Outlander rewatch. So because it's been a really long time, like I haven't watched Outlander since I think starting this channel, just because I've had so many other things going on. I did start an Outlander rewatch so that I could get to the new seasons. But I don't know how people feel about like reactors reacting to like later seasons of a show they've already started. So I wasn't sure if it would really be worth recording reactions for. Okay, Amber. Thank you, Steven. Oh, Surprise Radio. Thanks. So glad you like the channel. Amber, so as Ronnie takes on the world, at least catch up so we can watch together-ish. Okay, that might be something we can do, Clara. I mean, it's going to take me a hot second to get there. But that might be something we can do. The thing is with Outlander, I'm not crazy about... I'm not crazy about once they make it over to, like, America. Like, I started watching it because I love Scotland. So, I mean, I haven't been as into it. But... so my husband and I are maybe going to be traveling, potentially in Europe next year. And of course, if I go over there, I have to go to Scotland. And I was looking up the Outlander tour that I did the last time I was there because of course I would repeat it. And, it said that there are days throughout the season that they're closed for filming at Midhope Castle, which is Lollybroch. So they're still filming at Lollybroch at Midhope. So I don't know what that means. I don't want to know, but, do I have any movies coming up to react to? So yes, Jason, I do react. So over on Patreon, I react to a movie every week. Movies will come to YouTube eventually. It's just if a 40-minute episode of a show takes like 6 to 8 hours to edit. Movies take forever. And so I've got a, yes, Clara. Yeah. That's what the tour company that I checked in on said, like, just so you're aware, like there are days where the site will be closed due to filming. And so like this location will be substituted instead. And it was Blackness Castle, which was Fort William. So yeah, they're still filming there. So, okay. So for the movies, yes, I am going through the MCU over on Patreon. And please, for the love of everything unholy, do not spoil this for me. I am recording Infinity Wars next week. That is the movie that's coming up over there on Patreon. And I am nervous. I don't know anything about it. I don't know. So we're going through MCU. We're doing that every other week. And then on the in-between weeks, so every other week is MCU movie, and then every other week is a movie that gets voted on by the patrons. And so we have covered, I think I've done like 80 movies over there. Like or 60 or 70. I don't know how many. It's a lot. Done a bunch over there. So they're going to come to YouTube, hopefully starting in October. Don't hold me to that though, because I've got a couple that I want to put out like for like maybe around Halloween, and then I want to start bringing movies here on a more regular basis, because it was very strongly suggested that I not release any of the MCU movies on YouTube until after I watch Endgame, which I'm due to watch that in October. So that's what's going on. So movies, yes. Like I said, there are well, I can probably pull up my let's see. How many have I reacted to? Yeah, I like 81 movies over on Patreon right now. So we've done a few. And the one I'm recording this weekend to go out on Monday is Jumanji: The Next Level. I think it's what it's called. The second of the newer Jumanji movies, because I did the first one last month over there. And so we're going to do the second one because I really loved the first one. Yeah, Psychosis Media. It's a lot. Yeah, Clara, I mean, that's what we fell in love with, right? Scotland and Jamie, and not the colonies, and Jamie looking like a founding father. Oh, Ronnie Takes on the World's Big Finish. I didn't know she had any Big Finish. Claire, yeah, U.S. seasons are not as good. That's how I am. Merlin's Cat couldn't get into Outlander at all. It took me a while, actually. I was not into it until episode 7. Episode 7 is the one that got me hooked. And I don't know that I would have even carried on with it as long as I did, except I was watching it with a group of girlfriends. We were all just like hanging out, and they were like, let's watch Outlander. And so I was like, okay. And so like we just all sat there together. It wasn't like something I started watching on my own. And then we got to episode 7, which for those of you who have seen it was a little odd watching it with a group of young women that I didn't know very well at the time, because it's a little spicy. But that's also the episode I got hooked on. So, that probably tells you something. Terry, what was my opinion of Voyage of the Damned? I watched that episode almost a year ago. So like, I don't remember specific details, and I haven't started editing it yet. But I like, in general, from what I remember, I was disappointed that it was not about the actual Titanic. But I still, I think, enjoyed the episode overall, if I remember right. Like, I have fond memories of that episode now. This is like, there are some episodes, like when I go to edit it, I'm like, oh, I have to edit this episode. Like, I got to relive this one. Some of you can probably imagine which ones those are. But Voyage of the Dam isn't one. I think I remember getting into it. I'm just going to preface this right now for all of you on here. I did not realize at the time that I was watching that reaction that that's Kylie Minogue. Kylie Minogue only had like one song that was popular here in the US, and it was when I was in like high school. So no, I did not I did not recognize her. But I really enjoyed her in the episode, and yeah, so I remember liking it. Steven, that's interesting. So they're doing Sarah Jane stuff. Are they having the character of Sarah Jane and somebody else is just voicing it, or is it like the spinoffs? Did a 45-second edit for something it took 2 hours. Yeah, Paul, yeah. It takes a minute, and especially for someone with me, with my ADHD brain, I can't if I have to take frequent breaks when I edit, or I start glazing over and just not even absorbing anything that I'm actually watching or doing. Surprise radio. So yes, I have been to a Creation Con or two. Any actors from Supernatural that I haven't met that are musts? Yes. So, Richard Speight Jr. has never. I've been to 2 Creation Cons, and he was not at either one. So I have not met him, and I would really like to. Rob was at. Well, technically he was at both, but he got there late for the first one, so he wasn't hosting for most of the weekend. He was at the second one I went to, but I didn't get to actually meet him or interact with him. And Kim Rhodes is another one that I have not been able to meet yet because she just hasn't been able to be at the ones that I have been at. And so that's been kind of a bummer because I really enjoy her as well. But I've met, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, because I love him, even though we don't like John. I love JDM. So I haven't met him, but I've met, I think, basically everyone else. Because there's a bunch of pictures down actually on this bottom shelf that aren't in frames with other people. Charles, any particular genre of movies that I prefer? Honestly, not really. I do I tend to not really go for things about space and aliens, which was my whole thing in the very beginning of starting Doctor Who. But even then there are exceptions because I did react to Alien and Aliens on the channel, and I thoroughly enjoyed both of those. So there are always exceptions. But no, I like pure action movies. I'm a sucker for Fast and the Furious movies, but I also really love the dramas and the romance and rom-coms and literally kind of just about everything in terms of movies. Awesome. You never seen anything? Okay. Well, that's good. I guess it's good you couldn't spoil me even if you wanted to. Still can't get Patreon to work. That's such a bummer, John. I'm sorry. Nice to see Amy Pond in big blockbusters. Yes. So I had, before starting my MCU journey, I had seen Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. Those were the only ones I had seen. Of the traditional MCU, I know we've got kind of some weird stuff going on with Superman and X-Men and stuff. That I don't fully understand at the moment, but it's fine. I don't have to. I have somebody telling me what to watch and when. But I had seen Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, even after knowing that was Karen, that she played Nebula. I still couldn't, because I did a rewatch for Patreon, which I posted the link here. It's free for everyone to watch. The rewatches for Guardians, the full rewatch for Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 are free. Anyone can watch it regardless whether you have a Patreon account or membership or whatever. And so when I was doing those rewatches, it was the first time I had watched them since seeing her in Doctor Who. And I still couldn't wrap my head around that. My favorite Hunger Games film, easily, hands down, no question about it, Catching Fire. I freaking love that movie. They're all good. I love them all. But Catching Fire freaking blew me away when I saw that in theaters because like I still say like I have never ever seen a more accurate or like better done book to movie adaptation than Catching Fire. I was so happy with it. Claire, exactly. Still not over Karen being Nebula. Jumanji, she was just in that too, and it was really fun watching her. And well, not just for me because I just watched it last month. It was fun watching her in that. Oh, it's her daughter voicing Sarah Jane. Oh, that's nice. So she did Sarah Jane before the show. Really wild and mature? What the hell does that mean, Clara? Let's see. Paul, am I enjoying Classic Who so far? Yeah. I'm not like super in love with it, but I mean, it took me a little while to get there. But I definitely did. And for me, it's again, as I say with everything else, it's the relationship. So like when we get really established with a good companion, that's when I get more into it. So like I loved Ian and Barbara, and then we went through a period of, so just for reference, I am close, I think, to being halfway through season 7. I'm in the middle of The Ambassadors of Death. I think I just did part 5. And so we had all those missing episodes, so I just couldn't get attached to a lot of the companions because I either wouldn't see them enter, I wouldn't see them leave, or like most of their episodes would be gone, or sometimes I think in the case of some companions, like every episode they were in was gone. But now that we're out of that, finally, and I loved Jamie, which, shocker, we've been talking about Outlander. I loved Jamie, so now I'm with a new doctor, new companion, and we're gonna see, how attached I get. But yeah. Oh, Stephen, okay. Love Kim Rhodes. Yep, Kim is amazing. Clara, do you listen? I don't know if they're still making new episodes, but do you listen to their Wayward AF podcast? Kim and Brianna? Rob signed a Loud and Swain record for you. That's awesome. That sounded really sarcastic and shitty, but I really mean that. That really is awesome. Hearing him sing Fairly Well. Oh my gosh. Because he got there. So for the first convention, he got there like Saturday afternoon. So he was able to do the Loud and Swain concert on Saturday night. And hearing him sing Fairly Well, like it, I mean, no shocker because I cry all the time on this channel. It made me cry. And even at the second con, it still made me cry. Steven, you're not getting pizza delivered. You're cooking ramen noodles. Well, good for you. You won't have to leave in the middle of it and go meet the delivery guy. Paul, everybody's cooking. Oh, yeah, Clara. Yeah, you and I haven't talked about that because I have been a mess with everything going on with my friggin' mouth. Yeah. Wait a minute. Did you just find out they were dating? When did you find that out? I need to know when you found out that him and Ruth were dating. But yeah, so I actually saw... okay. So what's funny is I actually technically saw him in Lucifer before I saw him in Supernatural. And I don't know if you remember, but there's a particular sad episode that I told you I watched on a plane. Well, when I was on that plane trip, I had started Supernatural right before going on that trip because I don't do well with flying. I get very nervous. And so like I have to watch something that will distract me, and it has to be something I've never seen before. Because if I've already seen it, it's not enough of a distraction. So I was like, I need to start a new show because I need to be hooked on something and distracted while I'm on this flight. And so I started Supernatural, and then we get to like 4 episodes in and it's about a freaking plane crash. I was like, damn it, I can't watch this. So I stopped. I stopped watching it right there, like the week before my trip. And then when I got back, I was like, okay, I'm home. I don't have to fly for a while. We can resume Supernatural. And I watched all the rest of the episodes within like 28 days or something. So yeah, I actually saw him in Lucifer first because that's what I ended up watching on the plane was the new episodes of Lucifer, that season of Lucifer. Okay. Yeah, Charles, watch it for the Doctor companion. That's definitely me. Like I'm totally here for the Doctor and his companions, not necessarily like what's going on. Are aliens exclusive at the moment? They're my favorite. Do you mean so House of Liam? Do you mean Patreon exclusive? They are at the moment, but they're not going to stay that way. So what's going to happen with the movies that are going to come to YouTube is we're going to start with MCU, and I might have to just do those for a little bit and like do it every other week. I don't want to overcommit and not be able to like actually do, you know, what people are expecting, because that's what I told them. So when I start introducing other movies into the channel, what I'm going to do, because I have such a backlog, is I will probably take movies and put them on a poll on YouTube. And then all of you can vote on which ones you want to see that month. So like the reactions will already be done, and it's just like, okay, which one do you want to see? That way I'm not releasing stuff from my back catalog that like nobody actually even cares to see. So I think that's how I'm going to handle it. Terry, did I eventually accept that Captain Jack was the face of Bo? Yeah, because I mean it was, which I'm seeing now that there was some debate about whether it's canon or not, which canon in general tends to cause debates on the channel. But yes, I have accepted Jack as the face of Bo. Jason, thanks for joining. I'm sure you're gone now by the time I'm catching up with these. So I am so sorry, but thank you so much for joining and for participating in the chat. Sam Claflin is back. Yeah, it's been really interesting seeing Sam and Daisy Jones when I'm so used to seeing him as Finnick. Like that's how I saw him before this. This is the first thing I've seen him in besides Hunger Games. A bit behind, but love Catching Fire too. Such a great sequel. What do you mean you're a bit behind? Like just in the chat? Or in the movies? Because I thought you were going through the movies. Oh, okay, Steven, gotcha. No, I have not listened to that, Brittany. What? I don't even remember what I was talking about at this point. You hadn't listened to what? What hadn't you listened to, Clara? You just found, yeah, that's so insane that you just found out they were dating. Like they post on social media and stuff together. Okay, what classic companion doctor combo do I like most so far? I feel like that's probably, saying this as someone who's not a parent, I feel like that's probably like asking a parent who their favorite child is. There hasn't been one yet that I haven't liked. So it's really hard to say who I like most. I mean, I am fresh off Ten and Clara. So like that's what's still in my brain at the moment. So that's definitely up there. But 9 and Rose will always be forever special to me. And I mean, Rory and Amy, that all stands out too, but I also freaking love River. I can't pick a favorite. Yeah, so spoiler alert, I like them all, which I don't start that way with Donna. It was a bit of a surprise when I found out she was going to be the companion, and I was definitely worried, but it didn't take very long for her to win me over. Yes. Okay, so Surprise Radio, Hallelujah is actually my favorite song of all time. Favorite song of all time. And so hearing that at my first Supernatural convention and hearing them sing it, and it was like live, that was there were also tears. It was a very special moment. Oh, Oh, the rest of your comment, yeah. Yeah. I love going to those cons. I love them. Brian, thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying the reactions. Oh, and the chat just jumped. I'm just reading up on this whole Brian Brain conversation. No, I haven't. I'm assuming I haven't seen Love Rosie. That comment, I'm assuming, is in reference to me saying I hadn't seen Sam and anything else. Oh, you haven't listened to the podcast. Oh my gosh, Clara, listen to the podcast. It's so good. I think you will really like it. Like it's literally just Kim and Brianna just like shooting the shit, but like talking about some really important and interesting stuff. And sometimes they're just talking about fun stuff about the show. I don't know, Charles. I don't know what that comments. So I didn't reference any classic companions just because for me they don't hold up as much. Like I don't get as attached to them as the newer ones. But I did mention Ian and Barbara and Jamie have definitely been my favorites in classic so far. I did say 10. I was thinking season 10 or series 10. I meant 12 and Clara. That's what I meant. Am I in season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Not yet. I will be in a few weeks. Let me look. Because I had recorded all the way through episode 219 so that I could watch Age of Ultron, I believe, if I remember correctly. I did like a mad rush for that. And so it's been a few months since I have watched that episode. But I'm almost current. So I'm almost like going to have to start recording again. So I will be starting season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on September 24th. So in about a month, I'll be starting season 3. Okay. Paul, 12 Bill is your favorite? Interesting. I'm not fully attached to Bill just yet, but I'm also only 4 episodes in. So I'm not really expecting to be. I do like her, though. Claire favorites guess you're just a bad parent. Well, Steven, there's a reason I don't have children, so it's fine. Sarah Jane will always be one of your favorites. See, and I haven't seen Sarah Jane really as a companion. I saw 2 stories with her as a companion, like an actual, like a true recurring companion. But I haven't got there just yet. So, be interesting to see how my thoughts on Donna change throughout season 4. It's a wild ride with Donna. It is a journey. I start off in the first episode really worried that everybody was going to hate me because I was going to hate series 4. But we did not end up in that. We did not end up there. It didn't take long for me to start liking her. And the end of season 4 was very rough. Revival to be revealed eventually. Okay. Which Doctor is in season 7 in classic Doctor Who? I forgot. Okay, yeah. Everybody already answered. I wouldn't even know the answers to that anyways. I have been told I just have a terrible memory. Thank you, Stephen. No, I don't know. No, Clara, I don't know why Bill and... Was Heather the name of the one woman? I don't know who Heather is. Again, terrible with names. You may have seen Life on Mars. I have not. It was suggested. I think it's on the list for to include on like pilot polls one day. Season 4 is your favorite of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Surprise Radio. Interesting. I'm really, really enjoying it. Liked Thin Ice more than most people. I enjoyed Thin Ice. I didn't dislike it. Which, I mean, if you've watched the reaction, you know that. But, yeah, I didn't dislike it. I just... Because I'm not super attached to her yet, but I feel like that was a good episode to help with that, with their relationship. Because it really, I think... I think it let them know where each of them stood, like with each other and what their dynamic's going to be. So I feel like that was a good one for their relationship, which in turn means my relationship, like with Bill and how they're going to be together. Donna's your favorite companion? Interesting. So I don't remember which one exactly is Journey's End. Is that the one with the Nox? Is that the one, the end? Oh, Amber, it must have been hidden because I didn't see your question about this, and I would have answered it. Don't know yet. Okay, after season 1 for me to react to. So Amber has been having me react to Sex Education. So that's what Amber's comment is in reference to May Go Into Movies. Yeah, I'm totally cool with that. Okay, that's who I thought you meant. I just wasn't sure. The Star Eye. Which honestly, I was kind of bummed that she left so soon. I liked her. Although they definitely it definitely was like a very strong connection for some, woman that she just like bumped into at the bar, but whatever. No, I have not seen I, Tonya. I do. That's about Tonya Harding, isn't it? And Nancy Kerrigan and that whole scenario. Because I do remember that, like when I was a kid, that being like a huge deal. I think it was a little bit before my time, but it was like still talked about a lot in like pop culture and stuff. See, for me, Brian, I like the season 4 premiere wasn't so bad with Donna. I liked her more in that than I did in Runaway Bride, but I still was like so like put off from her performance in Runaway Bride, and like not her performance, but her character, because the performance was good, the character was annoying. I was so put off from that I was just like really disappointed that she was maybe going to be the new companion. So I didn't really like enjoy that episode, I think, as much as I could have. But yeah, again, it doesn't take too long. Journey's End is a Davros and 10 with the missing planet. Okay. Honestly, okay, so I'm going to be really honest. That is probably the finale story I remember the least about. I think just because it was like so epic, there was so much stuff going on that I feel like that's the one I remember the least. Like the least details about. I remember roughly, but in terms of like details of what happens in that story, I don't really remember a ton. Okay, so Journey's End is where Donna loses her memories. And yeah, exactly. So that is rough. See, in Sex Education, so I'm following up with Amber and Surprise Radio. And even Steven's comment. There definitely have been people over on Patreon who have been interested in Sex Education. That's just another one that I have no idea how I would edit that for YouTube. Watching through Once Upon a Time, started season 5, step up from season 4. I watched Once Upon a Time when it was on TV, and I did not finish it, but I don't remember where I left off. The last thing I remember, which I guess, spoiler for people who haven't watched the show yet, even though it's been out for a while, is they went to Neverland. And something about, like, it was Charming and Snow I think they were there, and something was going on the island, and stuff was looking really bleak, and like one of them was like about to die or something, and I that's like the last thing I remember, and I don't even really remember it that well. Surprise Radio, am I into Star Wars? I will say, like, so here's one of my little things for my light back there. I did react to all of the movies, the main movies. And I enjoyed them so much more than I was expecting. And I have been, which I can talk about that in a second, the movies here on YouTube. I put the first 3 out. I have been wanting to put the rest of the movies out, but no, I really, 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 I loved every movie. Like, there wasn't one that I did not enjoy. And I am open to doing spin-off shows, potentially. I am interested, although I mean, the thing is, I have heard that, what is it? Whichever one the animated one is, I've been told that, like, you have to start with that. And that definitely is, like, making me hesitate a little bit because I'm just not really into, like, animated TV shows. But yeah. But no, I loved the movies, and the reason I have been hesitating on, other than just like time and life being life and stuff being crazy, the Star Wars movies do very well on the channel. Like, so much better than any other movie on the channel that I've ever done, and like way better than TV shows. Like, they perform better than like pretty much anything else, even Doctor Who. The problem is the comments are always so negative, and not towards me. Like, I don't know that I've had like a mean comment on any of the Star Wars ones, and I don't really care. I have thick skin. Like, I don't really care if people want to, like, complain about my videos or whatever, like, say that they're bad. That's not it. They're negative about the material itself. And so, like, going through all those comments, it's literally just most, like, 80% of the comments I feel like are just people complaining about the movie. And about, like, future movies and stuff. So it doesn't make me super eager to put in like 2 days worth of work to put a video out to then like have all the comments be people just like talking about how bad it is. And the next one is Phantom Menace. So I know it's going to be real bad, even though I enjoyed it. So that's where the hesitation is coming in there. It's just kind of hard to motivate myself to work on editing those, but I enjoyed every single Star Wars movie. Brian, okay, so yes, with the adipose, I'm there with you. I had kind of a similar experience. I couldn't figure out if I thought they were like creepy or cute, and it was just this like weird thing for me the whole episode. It was a discussion when that episode came out, because the consensus was that it seems like a lot of people found them cute, and I just wasn't sure how I felt about that. Oh, it's the chat just jumped. Donna's entertaining. Appreciate the depth of others more. Yeah. For me, I liked seeing how much Donna evolved as a person and like grew in terms of like her confidence and stuff like that. And especially when it's like the stark contrast at the end when she loses all of her memories and she reverts back to who she was before she met the doctor. And she goes back to that person, like, you just see how far she's come. And that's what I really appreciated about Donna. Twin Peaks. So Psychosis Media, do you like Twin Peaks as well? That's been a discussion. It's on a list for potential reactions one day. Stephen and Amber, you two having this conversation about messaging people manually. It's cracking me up. Oh, thanks, sir. Yeah. Amber, I'm 4 episodes, I think, into Sex Education, right? So yeah, I'm not like super far into it, and I can't say I'm hooked, but I have been getting more attached to the characters in these past like 2 episodes. And so yeah, I'm definitely like keen to still react to it. It's just there's just so much that I couldn't put in the reaction. And like it's reaction worthy stuff, you know what I mean? Like it's these crazy scenes that I am like actively reacting to that I couldn't put in, or I'd have to spend so much time like making sure everything was blurred the right way. And Yeah. Okay, so Neverland was end of season 2, start of season 3. See, and I would have thought I got further into that, but I guess not. Yeah, Clara, is accurate. How did you phrase that? Always has great planning, and then life fucks me over every month. That is absolutely true. Hence this week, where I literally was just going in for just a basic cleaning. You know, I go into the dentist twice a year to get like cleaning checkup. Nope, I had to have 5 fillings done because it had been like 2 years since I'd been to the dentist for a whole list of reasons. Lots of drama, actually, which is why I now go to a dentist that's an hour away. Yeah, 5 fillings, and it still hurts. It still hurts. It's not bad today, though. Now we've kind of left, as of last night, we started leaving like pain territory, and now it's just like, especially on this side, which is why my hand like keeps going over here. Especially on this side, my bottom jaw is still fairly sore, but I am eating actual foods now. I'm not even having to eat like Jell-O and pudding anymore. I had sushi yesterday, which I did choose because it's still kind of mushy, but whatever, we're getting there. So yeah, that's how things tend to happen. Bryn, yes, I've told my husband, I have never encountered a fandom that hates their source material more than Star Wars. And I'm sorry if like people are here for Star Wars, but that has just been how it's been in the comments. Like, it's wild. Clone Wars, yeah, that's the one. I think that's the one that people said I needed to watch first, right? Because I mean, I've heard great things about like Mandalorian and stuff like that. And Mandalorian technically has an actress from Supernatural in it. Of course, I don't think you ever see her. I think she's in her uniform the whole time, but wait till I get to the sequels. I know. That's my thing. Like they're like this on the original trilogy, which, you know, I from what I gather are like the gold standard. Like those are the things that people love. Like they hate the prequels, they hate the sequels. So like if they were this negative on the original trilogy, that's why I'm just kind of like dreading putting the rest of them out, because like I just don't want to have to read through those comments. And I could not, but like there are some that are good, and I like responding to people, so I feel bad just like not ever, like if people take time to comment, I want to at least take time to read it and, you know, heart it or something. So, but like to have to wade through the sea of people just talking about how awful it is not fun. Adipose decided they're creepily cute. Clara, I don't know that I'm there. I don't know that I'm there. They're weird. Yeah, see, and I don't know. I haven't Surprise Radio. I haven't like gone deep dive into all the spinoffs, all the shows and stuff for Star Wars, so I don't know like what's what and when and all that stuff. Amber, I'm there. Well, I'm not conflicted. I really enjoyed the prequels. I can see why some wouldn't, and then there are definitely things about them that I understand, like where some of the hate comes from. But in general, I still really liked them. And then yeah, Rey, Finn, and Poe. I love all of them. I didn't even know that Rey was like really that hated until I started putting things out on YouTube, movies out on YouTube. And yeah, comments were not great. Brian, did I know the actress who played Amy Pond was in the Pompeii episode? I learned that later. And then I still couldn't spot her. So apparently I just have this like blindness when it comes to Karen, that I can't recognize her in anything. I mean, it was impossible to miss in Jumanji, but even after knowing she was in Fires of Pompeii, and even after knowing she was Nebula, I still was like, are you sure? I can't tell. Oh my God, Surprise Radio. Star Wars fans are the worst thing about Star Wars. I agree. Sorry. I kind of agree. And the thing is, I'm not the only reactor to say that, because after I watched all the movies, one of my favorite reactors is Ashley Burton. And she's done some of the movies and stuff. And so I watched her reactions to those after I had gone through them. And then she actually, and so she said a couple things in there, but there was one time where she did Lord of the Rings, and I think it was in like a live, because she does a live once a month. She said something like, oh, I thought Star Wars fans were mean. Like, no, Lord of the Rings takes the cake or something, because she acted like she reacted to like whatever the full extended version is of Lord of the Rings, and she didn't really like it because she doesn't really have the attention span for like longer stuff like that. So anyways, I'm not the only one that thinks Star Wars fans are mean. And they're not mean to me. They just hate Star Wars, which I don't understand. Okay. J9 Lorna, coming in late to this, but where am I at with Doctor Who, and what's my favorite story so far? So I am, I just did Series 10, Episode 4, Knock Knock. So I am with 12 and Bill right now. My favorite story so far, oh boy. Again, that's so hard. So somebody earlier asked like fave Doctor Companion combo, and I couldn't really choose one. I don't know that I can choose a fave story. I have standouts from like each series. So I don't necessarily like have like a favorite. I will tell you though, there is a special coming up in this batch of specials after Series 4 that I kind of consider to be, and I don't know that I would consider it now because I've seen a lot more since then, but at the time it blew me away. I said it was like my favorite episode. It was a masterclass in television. So that one's still very high on the list for me, and I can say it if people want me to, but I don't know if some people want to be surprised. So yeah, but there are definitely standouts from each series, and one of my favorite stories is in Series 4. So that's coming up as well, and I'm excited to get to it. Oh, thanks, Steven. You answered it for me. Ian, welcome. Hi. I didn't even see that you joined. Yeah, I could see that makes sense, Ian. But still, like, they're just, I feel like it's a whole other level with Star Wars fans. Yeah, Steven. Oh, really? The Glee fandom is the same way, Clara? I reacted to the pilot of Glee, and I was kind of open to doing it, but I wasn't immediately hooked, and that's another one where I do know people react to it because I have seen it on YouTube, but that's another one where I feel like it would just be a nightmare to do for YouTube. Awesome gamer. Someone who's in a Star Wars club in school, the fandom can be toxic at times. Yeah, I definitely do feel like it's a pretty toxic fandom. But honestly, I feel like they're all kind of that way to some extent. Because we're all very passionate about these things, like, and they mean a lot to us. So like, I get it. I'm passionate about my fandoms, but yeah. Peanut butter chocolate smoothie instead of Jell-O. I don't really like chocolate. Love peanut butter, but I'm not a chocolate fan. Terry, no, I have not watched Hacksaw Ridge. I have heard of it, but I don't know what it is. The name just sounds familiar. Steven, I was just reading your comment about Force Awakens. Yeah, I mean, I can J9 Lorna, like, I can definitely appreciate that side of it. like being so invested in something and it being such a big part of your life for such a long time, I can see being upset, like when it doesn't go how you think it's going to go, or even in a way that you think is good. I get that. But like that, my thing was like, even on the original trilogy, people were talking about how awful they are. I was like, aren't these supposed to be the good ones? Aren't these the ones that people like? So yeah. Really, Amber? Never seen a female character hate as much as Rey. Well, that's gonna be fun. Because I liked her. I mean, I didn't like love her, but I liked her. Brian, yeah, so I do know, yeah, she is one of the, sorry, I just dropped something on my desk. I do know she's one of the seers or whatever they are. I just, like, even as I was watching it, I was like, is that her? Is that her? Like, it was never really clear because of all the makeup. Thanks, Star Prize Radio, with your comment about Star Wars. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. No, I always appreciate like advice and guidance. It just like kind of goes in one ear and out the other unless I like am sitting down thinking of that one thing and I have a spreadsheet for it. That's the only way I can keep any of this stuff straight. If people don't want to know the story I was referencing earlier about one that's like one of my favorite stories, I don't know if I can call it my favorite anymore, but I don't know what else it would be. Don't read Clara's comment, but yes, Clara, you are correct. That is the one I was referring to. Yes, I do. So I do know that Peter Capaldi was also in Fires of Pompeii. And I actually, before I started 12's run, it was suggested that I rewatch Fires of Pompeii, and I did. But I think I already knew, didn't I? That he was going to be the next Doctor because he was in Torchwood. And so I had seen him in Torchwood first, actually, before I got to him in Doctor Who. Paul, let's not even start that. No, my favorite is not the Slovene. Bryn, Turn Left. I honestly don't remember what I thought about Turn Left. Because I remember there is an episode in series 4 that everyone else like loved, and I was like, yeah, not my favorite. And I don't, it wasn't Turn Left that I'm thinking of, but like I don't remember what I thought of Turn Left. The Glee fandom hates Glee. But it also hates people bashing Glee. I mean, I kind of get that. The silence, yeah. Silence in the Library is your fave sci-fi, not just Doctor Who. That may or may not be the story I was referring to when I said that one of my favorite stories is coming up in Series 4. Yeah, Awesome Gamer, that's definitely, that is absolutely true. I see that in the Supernatural fandom. Supernatural fandom, a lot of times, is pretty good. There are definitely some toxic elements to it, and there's been some extra drama here lately with some people being called out about things that they should rightfully be called out for. But I feel like I see that mostly with Supernatural is like the superiority of the competition. Like people want to one up each other to like say that like they're a bigger fan, and it's like let's just all love and appreciate it. It's not a competition. Let's see. Brian, sorry if you've already gone, but thank you if you haven't. I appreciate it. I really appreciate you being here. Paul, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I see that in the comments here on YouTube. And there's been some where I've deleted because they've been awful comments. About like well, I mean Jodie in general, but I mean different different doctors even that people have hated. And yeah, there's definitely, Doctor Who's definitely had some of it, but not a ton. Not that I've seen in my reactions anyways, but I'm also only, 3 series in. Yes, Clara, that is the episode I was referring to, but I couldn't remember how I felt about Turn Left. And see, I just don't go on Twitter. The only time I ever go on Twitter is if I need to actually get somebody from like some company's customer support to get back with me. That's the only time I ever get on there. Oh, interesting. I hadn't heard of that Psychosis Media. Hardware Wars. So what's funny is I had seen Spaceballs before watching a single Star Wars. Spaceballs was one of my favorite movies growing up as a child. I was a kid, so I didn't really know the concept of parody. I just thought it was like a funny movie. And I still actually have not done my Spaceballs rewatch because I've now watched Alien and Star Wars. But I haven't seen any of the Planet of the Apes. I think the only reference is the one at the very end of the movie. But I've been holding off to do a rewatch of Spaceballs until I get finished with those. Steven. Your 50th anniversary joke. Midnight's a favorite from season 4. Yeah, Charles, it's a favorite for a lot of people. A lot of people really like Midnight. Check out Bitch Fight at Canary Wharf. No, Jane, I learned I haven't. Did you? I know you said yet. Did you suggest that at some point? Bryn, yes, there was, but I did not. There was a line in Love and Monsters about living shadows because I was like, ooh, that sounds really cool. Did not make the connection when we got to Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead. Didn't even click. So yeah. Hacksaw Ridge is a war movie about a medic who goes into war without a gun. Interesting. Based on a true story. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. I do war movies. I really am open to all kinds of movies. Clara. Oh, Larry, thank you so much. That's really nice. Also, your profile picture is going to haunt my nightmares. So yeah, Clara, I am not on Twitter or X. Well, I mean, technically I have an account, I guess, but. See, I don't, okay. So what is it, J9 Lerna, the bitch fight at Canary Wharf? Also, just as an FYI, for anybody who leaves comments, I do try and read or respond to all of them, and even if I can't respond to it, I usually at least try to heart it. Sometimes they just kind of get buried if it's a comment on an older video, or if it's a comment on a video, an older video, but it was made on the same day I released a new video. Sometimes they just get lost. But also, if I don't respond to your comment, it might be because YouTube blocked it automatically. So there are certain words that I have set up to try and keep spam at a minimum. And then it will also take it upon itself to block other words that might have something sexual or explicit. And then it will block every comment that has a link in it. So just FYI. Okay. Surprise to Merlin. Isn't Merlin the one that had Anthony Head in it? Psychosis Media. How have I never heard of this movie then? If it was that big of a deal, that's crazy. Is it a full-length parody movie, or is it a shorter thing? I have not seen Young Frankenstein, actually. I did watch, which I know this isn't the same thing, but it kind of like that genre just reminds me of it. I did do Monty Python and the Holy Grail on the channel. It was something else. No, it was funny. See, that's so wild for me, him playing a bad guy. Because he's always going to be Giles to me. And so seeing him as a bad guy in School Reunion was wild. I don't remember which one Jed is. God, when did I watch Midnight? That was so long ago. Well, if it was season or series 4, that would have been what, last fall that I watched Midnight then, I think. Or end of last year. Because I was doing, I think, the episode that went out today on YouTube. So 313. I think I did that like the first week of September. So 6 to 10 minutes. You did say that. Okay, yeah. Preview length. Got it. Yeah, I don't remember. Again, Midnight's the one that I don't remember a ton of details on. Because, yes, unfortunately, it was not one of my favorites. Oh, okay. I vaguely remember the couple. I'm just laughing at these comments. No, I have not done Life of Brian. I don't really know even what that is. I mean, I know it's Monty Python, but I don't know anything about it. At least with Holy Grail, I like sort of, kind of, roughly-ish knew something, maybe. I don't remember the mom. I think I've just blocked Midnight out. I didn't hate Midnight. It's not one of my favorites. No, I have never seen Baby Driver. Who's in that, Amber? And I know I don't normally ask, but it's because that's not the one with Ryan Gosling, is it? Or is that Drive? Wasn't there a movie called Drive? I don't know which one's which. Yeah, Charles, it's not like something I'm going to watch on a regular basis, but it was entertaining while I watched it. And it was fun to see like things that have been, referenced in pop culture and stuff that I'm like, oh, that's where that's from. And speaking of which, I kind of forgot. I think I want to say it's, I don't know which one it is, but I think it's the castle where, in Monty Python, like towards the beginning of the movie, where the guys are like up on the top, and then it's been a few months since I watched this movie, so I don't remember the details. But then there's like the two at the bottom, and they're like yelling at each other towards the beginning of the movie. I think that is Doune Castle in Scotland, which is also, for those of you who watch Outlander, that's Castle Leoch. And I've been there. No, Clara, no hope for Daisy. Sorry, not this weekend. Not with being down for the count. I still need to record the movie for Monday. And I need to get some other stuff recorded too. And yeah, so unfortunately not this weekend, but it is on my list. What are Cowl Games? Awesome Gamer. Close Encounters of the Nerd Kind. I think I may have watched Close Encounters like once when I was a child, and that's it. Oh, Baby Driver is Ansel, what's his name, Elgort? What is up with all these names? Okay. Wait, why is there a, well, okay, maybe Amber on Discord will talk about why there's a yikes there. I have seen like 1 or 2 episodes of Black Mirror. It's not my thing because it's such like one-off stuff that I don't care about what's happening in the episodes. Oh, Steven, that's a bummer. Yeah, probably, Clara. We could probably do that. If you're good with that. Oh, Life of Brian's parody of Jesus. Didn't know that. Okay. Blind Spot. I don't think that one's come up, Charles. Let me look and see if it's on the reaction list. Like the list of pilots that people have mentioned. Although it is kind of jogging a little bit of memory. I think maybe somebody did bring it up at one point. But it's not on my list. Oh, is John Hamm in a Black Mirror episode? Really, Clara? I didn't know that. I hadn't heard that about him. Well, that sounds fun. Awesome Gamer. Not for your pups, though. I'm sorry to hear that. We've got one that's not super fond of fireworks. But she's not that bad. We just kind of have to keep her distracted a little bit, and she likes some extra cuddles whenever they're going on. But hi, Pascal. Welcome. I mean, listen, like I would be open because from my understanding, Black Mirror is not a show where you need to watch like every episode, right? Like you can kind of pick and choose what you watch, right? And if that is the case, then I wouldn't be opposed to like maybe reacting to like an episode here and there or something. But in general, and I even picked the ones that like sounded like stories that I would find the most fascinating, and I was like, yeah, no, that's not for me. Pascal, yes. I was definitely a Buffy girl growing up. I actually started with the movie, and that's where I got my first crush, which was Luke Perry. I slept in his t-shirt every night when I was like 4 years old or whatever. And yeah, totally loved Buffy. And then, of course, when the TV show was on, I was like the perfect age for it. I was in like middle school or whatever for her to be my idol, my hero. And then, yeah, I watched it like 2 or 3 times, I think, since like it was originally on TV. I've got all the seasons, but it's been probably a good 10 years since I watched it the last time. So like there's a lot of small details I don't remember. But yeah, no, definitely love Buffy. John Hamm's episode is dark. Well, I'm here for that. Hi, Tulip. Are you the same Tulip that is over on Discord? Hated in the Nation, is that a show, Bryn? Oh, and Black Mirror. So are they, oh yeah, Willow's amazing. Are they one-off episodes, or are they doing them now where like the stories take multiple episodes? Yay, Tulip. I'm glad to have you join us over here then. I mean, I would have been glad either way, but like, that's fun that you're in Discord, but now you're here. A lot of people. Okay, so they are one-off episodes. They're all standalone. Okay, see, yeah, I'm not great with like standalone stuff. Oh, wow. Yeah, because I saw, what is it? I think on Netflix right now, at least here in the US, I think the cover, or at least it has been, I think Aaron Paul was on the cover. And I have seen, I love Breaking Bad. And so that almost enticed me to give at least his episode a shot. Oh, okay. Got it. That makes sense. Surprise Radio. Do I remember the original Beverly Hills 90210? Yes, because that is actually the t-shirt that I had. So I fell in love with Luke Perry in Buffy, but the t-shirt I had was Luke Perry from 90210, and like his little leather jacket, and it had like the pink 90210. And I was just this like tiny little thing, and I had my little crush on Luke Perry, so yeah. The Aaron Paul episode is dark. Well, that entices me to watch it even more. Amber, I can't say that surprises me. Which is why I thought, like, because I think he's in a movie called Drive, which is what made me get confused there for a second. And I knew that you've been on a Barbie kick. So I was like, has she been watching Ryan Gosling movies? Is that one? Is that why she watched it? Good, just rough subject. Interesting. Okay. Hi, Simon. Thank you for joining. Which I'm assuming not, because nobody's asked questions. I'm open to talking about other stuff as well. So, Good Omens, I have recorded through episode 4. I was hoping to get through the whole rest to get through seasons 1 and 2 by the end of this week, and then the dental work happened, and that took out like 5 recording days or something. Bye, Surprise Radio. Thank you so much for coming on. This was a fun chat. So I think we are like a season or something behind Psychosis Media on Better Call Saul. But we have been watching it as well. And we like it. By we, I mean my husband and I. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are like 2 of the few shows that he and I actually like watch together. But we, like I said, I think we're 1 season behind, just because freaking they take so long in between seasons that I feel like I have to like rewatch the whole show before I can watch like the next season, and we just haven't had time to do that. But no, I actually I live not too I live like within a day's drive of Albuquerque. And that's where the show is set, but that's also where they filmed. And so I've been to the car wash. I ate at Los Pollos Hermanos, which is not actually a chicken place. It's a really, really, really terrible fast food Mexican restaurant. But I ate there, and I sat in the booth that like Walter sits in when he goes there. And they have Breaking Bad playing on the TV in the restaurant like 24 hours a day. Like if it's open, Breaking Bad's playing. So I ate there. I went to Walt's house, which is now like Pepto-Bismol pink and has a fence all the way around it because people kept coming and throwing pizzas on the roof. But when I drove by, like, and people always talked about how the guy that lives there now is like really mean, like he doesn't want anything to do with the show, which I think is part of why he painted it such a crazy color, because he doesn't like want people taking pictures of his house, which is understandable. But I drove by and he was sitting out in his driveway in a lawn chair, and I like just drove by, and he just like waved at me and seemed super nice and friendly. So I don't know. And then I saw, what else did I see? Hank's house. And then from Better Call Saul, I saw the like the toll booth where Mike works, because Mike is like one of my favorite characters. I love him. And then I also saw Mike's house. And then from Better Call Saul, the nail salon that he like lives in, that was filmed in an actual nail salon, and I got my nails done there. Well, I had a pedicure done there. So yeah, I like it. Oh, and then I also went to, so for those who don't know, for the first season of the show, at least part of the first season, they actually used a local candy maker there in Albuquerque to make like the blue meth, the sugar rocks, the candy for it. And she still is there making it. And so I picked up a few baggies of that as well from her. So yeah, that's fun. Let me catch up. Love Breaking Bad, but took ages to start Better Call Saul. So we were like already current on Breaking Bad. So like when Better Call Saul started, we were ready to go with it. And we've done a few rewatches of Breaking Bad. Steven, that's interesting that you say that it's more accurate to the legal world than not. That's interesting. Nothing will beat Los Pollos Hermanos. Yeah. How about The Rookie? Terry, which, is that a movie? Yeah, Pascal. So it, for legal reasons, I can't have like just the full episode just playing in the video. So, yeah, you do kind of have to have the episode like pulled up on like your TV or your phone, or in just like a separate window on the device, and like have both things playing at the same time. I do have some things which I do have some Patreon people here if they want to like talk about it from like the viewer experience. But what I do is I have like a countdown at the beginning of the video. So like when I'm talking and I say like, you know, this is episode whatever, let's get into it, whatever I say. I have a countdown so that like as soon as it hits 0, you can hit play on your copy of the episode, and it should be pretty close to synced. But then for the first 30 seconds, I let the video play and the audio play so that you can make any adjustments if you need to, just to like make sure they line up correctly. And then at 30 seconds, I mute it, but I leave the video going and just put like a blur filter over it so that like if at any point while you're watching it after that 30 seconds, you feel like maybe it's gotten out of sync a little bit or you need to pause something, you can still match it up like consistently anytime you need to throughout the thing, you know, with basically with like what's shown on the screen, like in the show footage. And I have a running timer also from when the episode starts all the way to the end. So that like if you do need to pause it, you know that you were like, you know, 18 minutes and 30 seconds into the episode or something. So you can come back and pick up later. Which sounds really complex, but I feel like if you get in there and do it, it's not as complex. It's a lot for me to explain. It's one of those things where I think you just kind of have to like do it. And then it's like not as bad as it sounds, I hope. I played around with a few different formats. We experimented a little in the beginning, but we've been using this format, I think for like over a year now, and it seems to work well. It seems like it works for people. Didn't he get lots of people? Yes. Yeah, Paul, he did get lots of people throwing pizzas on the roof, which is why he put the fence all the way around the whole house. Like it's the fence goes out to the street and like blocks the driveway, everything. Like it's literally like his property line basically is all fenced now. It's a chain link fence, so you can still see everything. But you can't get to the roof now to throw pizzas on it anymore. Thank you, Stephen, for that information about Firefox as a pop-out window. Just catching up. Yeah, watching Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie backlog. That makes sense. Never would have guessed that, Amber. Crazy Stupid Love. I think I watched that like once. I feel like that's a movie I should have liked a lot more than I did. Officially a college student now, no more school bullshit. Yay! Awesome gamer. Congrats. That's so exciting. Love location YouTube videos. What, Psychosis Media, what do you mean by that? Like film location videos? I'm a sucker for visiting film locations. My husband does not understand it whatsoever, but he also doesn't really he doesn't get like this with TV shows and movies. So, J9 Lorna, yes, Game of Thrones does seem to bring in a lot of viewers, which is why I'm open to giving it a shot because I have not seen it. I know I've seen at least the first episode. I maybe have seen the second. I'm not sure. I was not into it. And we literally were just having this discussion, earlier today or yesterday on Discord. I wasn't into it because I didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know who anybody was, how they were connected to anybody else, why I was supposed to care about any of them. So I didn't care and I couldn't follow what was happening. And I said I felt like if I had a flow chart or something while I was watching it, it would help and I could probably get into it because it honestly sounds like it's kind of right up my alley. I like fantasy stuff. I like dark things and, dark subject matter and having my heart ripped out of my chest and stuff. So all that sounds good. I just couldn't get into it. But I think it's just because I literally spent the entire time being who are these people? Why do I care? What's happening? It just was not a good kind of confused to start off a show. Rookie is a TV show. Oh, no, I don't think I know that one. Oh, Tulip, good. I'm glad Sinking's been easy. Well, yeah, you blew through them. You're current. Well, I think you're current now, or you're close to it. Those ones in the beginning are a little rough, but there's only so much I can do about that. You're welcome, Pascal. I'm sure that was a terrible explanation. I'm sorry. I feel like there's no good way to explain it. The Expanse has a dedicated fan base. I have seen other reactors react to that, but I have no idea what it is. Yes, Clara. Tulip is the one who binged all of my full reactions within 2 weeks or something. Black Sails is a great show. Haven't heard of that one either. No comment. Yeah, I feel like Amber, I think I agree. Just all right. That's how I felt about Crazy Stupid Love. Okay, it was fun to watch it once, and maybe I'd watch it a second time, but it didn't blow me away and isn't something I would ever be I feel like watching Crazy Stupid Love and then just turn it on. Psychosis Media, yeah, film locations. Compared main shots of then and how they look now. Yeah, no, I think all that stuff's super fun. I've been to, I've done some Hunger Games stuff, some Harry Potter stuff, Outlander, Breaking Bad. I think that's it. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome and thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying the reactions. And this might sound weird, but I love Kansas. We have a few places that we do paranormal investigations at in Kansas. And I have to drive through Kansas every time I drive home from where I live now to where I grew up. We have to drive back and forth through Kansas. So, yeah, I actually spend a decent amount in Kansas. Jimmy. Only found the channel a few days ago, working your way through the detail. Oh, on Patreon. Yay, welcome. Glad you could join us. I'm good now that my mouth is not trying to kill me anymore. Black Sails is about pirates. Who doesn't like pirates? I don't think I've actually seen too much stuff about pirates, actually. I mean, obviously, Pirates of the Caribbean, however you want to say that. But even then, I only saw, I think, the first two of those movies. Yeah, Jennifer, that's a pretty good summary. For a second, I wasn't sure what you were going for there until I saw the tornado, and I was like, oh yeah, nope, that's Kansas. I have caught up with the chat. Yes, of course, it'll be lagged, but yeah. There's always like a built-in 20 or 30 second delay, but yeah, I did catch up. I go on these weird random tangents. Y'all, I haven't, because of my mouth, I haven't been able to talk since like Tuesday afternoon. I recorded reactions finally. What was it? Like Friday early morning. And that was like the most I had talked in like the previous 3 days. So it's nice to be able to talk to people again. I'll pay for it later. My jaw is going to hurt like a son of a bitch later, but whatever. Let's see. Bryn. Particular series that I would classify as my favorite. That's really hard, which I feel like I say that about everything. But this is really hard just because of how I watch it. I binge it, and so like the series kind of blend together. And I do 2 episodes at a time for Patreon. Like they get 2 episodes a week. And so like sometimes I go straight from one series like into the next if it happens to fall that way. So yeah, they kind of blend. I have to go look at like at the episode list to even like try and remember. So let me do that. Let me pull up my spreadsheet here for all my Doctor Who episodes. Honestly, I feel like Series 4 is a pretty damn strong contender. There's lots of stuff that I really like in Series 4. Now, I say Series 4, but I'm also lumping in the 4 specials afterwards, like in with the Series 4 stuff. Just kind of looking at Series 5. There's some good stuff in there, but I feel like if I had to choose between 4 and 5, I might pick 4 over 5. So let's look at 6. Okay. Series 6 is a complicated one for me because I feel like as I was watching it, it was so much fun, but it was so confusing. I still don't feel like I understand what happened in Series 6. So like I mentioned earlier that like I love River. And so like the stuff in Series 6 like was some of my favorite like overarching plot lines and like with like character stories and stuff, like with what we have going on between the characters. But as far as the actual like story and like the through line of Series 6, I still feel like I don't know what the hell happened. Oh yeah, and then Series 7 was a lot. Oh yeah, Series 7 is the one where they ripped my heart out mid-series when I was absolutely not expecting it. So that's not my favorite for that reason because I'm bitter about it. You know, 8. Series 8 was good. With the exception of Danny. 9 was really good too, though. They're all good. So I can't really say that I have a favorite, but there are definitely some standouts. It's more like stories and different things that happen. Okay, I am now behind in the chat again. So I didn't actually answer your question, Bryn. I'm so sorry, but that's kind of how it is. It's so hard to pick. Series 4 for story and Series 5 for acting. Interesting. Pascal, I have not actually, and I have heard great things about the Scream TV series. The only thing is, like, I actually don't like horror movies. That is one genre I am not a fan of. So earlier when somebody asked me what type of movies I like to watch, I am not a horror movie fan because I'm a huge baby. Scream is an exception to that. But for me, it's a lot of like the nostalgia factor, because Scream came out when I was in like middle school, and I instantly loved it. And so that's part of why I love Scream so much. And so I don't know if the TV show would have that for me. But I mean, I've even been enjoying the new Screams. That's one I referenced earlier. I said I wanted to hopefully bring movies back on the channel, like at least to put a couple out around October for Halloween. And the newest Scream is one that I wanted to do, because I have reacted to it over on Patreon, and I want to bring it to YouTube this October. But I'm open to it for certain. Like, definitely, I will pretty much watch a pilot to anything. If it wins a poll, over on Patreon, I'll watch the pilot episode, and then we can just go from there. So, Jennifer, I have not seen Broadchurch. That has been recommended a few times. So that is on my list of pilots to put on a poll at some point. Line of Duty, I don't think I've heard of, though. Bye, Clara. Thank you for being here. If you haven't left yet, I'll chat with you on Discord, I'm sure. Interesting, Stephen. Oh, Tulip Series 8's your favorite? They're good. Psychosis Media. Wow, that's wild. That's really wild. I feel like there's quite a few extras in that to just like have to have everybody move there for 3 months. Some are better for binging, like Series 9. Yeah. See, and that's kind of how I feel about Series 6. That's definitely one where I'm glad I binged it, because it was like so complex that if I had any period of time, basically, like even the week between episodes was enough for me to be like, okay, what happened last time? But it's also another series where I feel like I just didn't fully get everything the first go around. And so it's one I do want to rewatch at some point whenever I have time. Whenever that is. Awesome, yeah. Matt, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about 11 and like Matt's version of the Doctor, but he won me over. They all have. Jimmy, how am I finding Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so far? So as of right now, I am through well, actually, I don't think you've seen, I don't think I've gotten to that point yet with what's been on YouTube, but you're over on Patreon. Are you watching the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reactions on Patreon? But I have seen through episode 219. Season 2 was a bit of not a rough start for me. It just like, I freaking loved season 1. So for those of you who are watching my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reactions on here, by the end of season 1, I was so hooked. Like all in it. I think at one point in time, I said it was like my favorite thing I was reacting to at the moment, when I was going through season 1. Then we got into season 2, and it took a little bit of a dip down for me in the first couple of episodes, just because the show wasn't what I had like come to love with the characters, and Skyward absolutely pulverized my heart. And so like the beginning of season 2, I was like, I need to get my bearings here, and I'm sure I'll find my love for the show again, and I did. It didn't take very long, and so now have seen through episode 2-9, and like I still love it. Or 219, I mean. Bren, yeah, there's a lot to series 6. I feel like that almost could have been spread out between like 2 series. Andrew Malcolm. Willis fell off during, writing stuff you can't resolve. Andrew, that's kind of how I was. Like, I just feel like it was too complex. Like, it was more complex than it needed to be. It seemed like one of those things where, because like he knew what he wanted to do with it, and like the writers maybe knew what they wanted to do with it, that it's some things got a little bit lost in translation, at least for me. Like they knew what they were doing, but I don't feel like it fully got like passed on to the viewer. Deadwater Fell, Des, and Inside Man. Yep, don't know any of those. Jennifer. Can't decide between 3, 4, and 9. Interesting. 4 is a standout for me, which seems so funny because it's Donna, and I definitely was not thrilled about that to begin with. Capaldi seasons are your favorite? I've really enjoyed Capaldi a lot. I think so I like them, as I say with everything, I like them all for different reasons, which, I mean, I think is part of what makes the show so special, is that you can have this one character, but you can have so many different versions that are, like, you buy them as the same person, but you also can see them as completely different. And it just works. But I don't know that we've really got there yet, but you'll hear me say several times, like, I like Angry Doctor, I like Dark Doctor. And so Capaldi gave me some really good stuff there. Jimmy, yeah. So I didn't realize it at first as I was going through it, but apparently there are a lot of people who don't like Clara. Bryn, that's been a popular opinion, at least on what I've seen on our Discord. So on the Discord, so there's a Discord for Patreon members, and there's like, I have it split. So there's like non-spoiler channels and then spoiler channels, and I don't go into those. So they have their own conversations there, and I have no idea what's happening on those channels. I have some mods who keep an eye on things for me, but I never go in there, obviously, because I don't want spoilers. So I don't know what the discussions are there, but from my side of the Discord, Clara seems to be fairly popular. And the Clara 12 dynamic seems to be fairly popular. Pascal. Oh, okay. Scream TV show is not really horror, more about character development and mystery aspect. That sounds good. Oh, Tulip, you liked her more on a rewatch? Interesting. Pascal, yay! Welcome to Patreon. Again, thank you for joining us over there. Hopefully we see you in the Discord. But if you're watching the full reactions, just know that for the first, I think, few series, I tried different versions of it because I was getting feedback from people on what worked for them. So the most recent reactions, and I think they've been like this for like a year now, are the format that everybody kind of seemed to like. So Jimmy Jones, I have not seen Sherlock. So there is a tier over on Patreon where it's like it's my higher tier, where the people on it get to pick either one movie or 2 TV show episodes per like billing cycle for me to react to. And Clara, who's been in the chat here, she was going to have me do Sherlock, and then we switched at the very last minute, I think, and went to something else. So it might be on her list for the future. I don't know. She's also got me going through CB Strike. Daisy Jones and the Six is what we're going through right now. And then she's had me do the Smallville pilot. So I think she might do Smallville at some point, maybe. Terry, good night. Thank you for joining. Series 6 is the one with the weird Amy intro, right? I don't know the answer to that question. Jimmy, okay. Haven't got around to Ages in the Field yet. Oh, interesting. So food and lodging was free, but you didn't really make much money. That would have been a fun, well, I mean, I guess I don't know. It would have been a fun experience. That would have been an interesting experience to have. Charles, yeah, I love Clara. So for anybody who's wondering, I love Clara. It took me a little while, which that has been discussions, about the relationship with her in 12 and everything. But, and I think it's just because they threw Danny in the mix there and it really messed with my head. But no, I love the two of them, and I love the two of them together, separately, whatever. Oh, really? Bryn, he was writing Moffat or Sherlock at the same time. Tulip, yeah, interesting. Capaldi, definitely, like, so I've been asked sometimes, like, which doctor's your favorite or whatever, and I have kind of weird ways of answering that. I don't, like, obviously 9 will always be special to me, but I think if I had to rank them in terms of episodes I enjoy watching, stories I enjoy watching, which doctor I just enjoy watching more. Actually, I think it's going to be two different things. So if it's in terms of like stories, if I were to only be able to watch like one doctor's era, and I'm just going on New Who because I don't have enough for Classic Who yet. If I were, and to be perfectly honest, they wouldn't hold up for New Who for me because I'm definitely more into New Who. But if I had to pick, like, you can only watch stories from this doctor's time period, which doctor would it be? So far right now, I think that would have to be 12. In terms of which doctor do I enjoy watching more, I think that would be 10. In terms of which doctor would I want to travel with, I think that would be, I'm torn between 9 or 10. But if you'll notice a common theme here, 11 wasn't said throughout any of those. I do love 11, but he's just not at the top for me in like really any way. Yeah. So that's kind of how that all shapes up. Okay. Bryn, yeah, I love Angry 12. Yes, I do too. I love, love, love Angry Doctor. Sir Richard Owen, hi, hello. Nothing wrong with Clara in my opinion. Good, good. I love Clara. One half did not like Clara, the other half liked it. Realized you need separate adventures and relationships as a separate world. Yeah. Like Clara up until series 9. Interesting. Sorry for like clearing my throat right in the microphone. Just catching up on the comments here. Yeah, Bryn, exactly. Danny takes away, I mean, he introduces, I guess, some, conflict, obviously, into things for the Doctor and Clara that make for some okay moments, but, well, some good moments, but I'm not a fan of Danny. Oh, interesting. Andrew, you couldn't stand Amy and Rory. See, and I love Amy and Rory. I have opinions about Danny. Yes, Stephen. Yeah, Missy's awesome, which, just to kind of clarify, so I am in Series 10 right now, and I am of the mindset that, and I don't want any confirmations or denials or anything, I'm of the mindset that Missy's not done and we're going to see her again. She hasn't been around in a bit, but I think she's still out there somewhere. So, yeah. Sherlock is worth it. Not a lot of episodes either. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely open to checking out Sherlock. Are there people who love Danny, Steven? Jimmy. Can't pick a favorite logger for different reasons. Sir Richard Owen, yeah, that's how I am. Oh, good, Charles. Your sentiments exactly on 12 and 10. Oh, no worries. I knew what you meant. Yeah, I get that, Paul. Danny definitely got screwed over more than once. Yeah, I just felt like he was unnecessary. Like, I don't know. His whole character just feels like he just shouldn't be here. I mean, I get he wasn't necessarily unnecessary, but I didn't need him. I didn't need all that stuff, but exactly, Bryn. I don't hate Danny, but wouldn't have been against him not existing. That's kind of how I feel. Like, I don't hate Danny. I just don't like him. And I would have preferred him to just not be in the show at all. Oh, interesting. I've never heard of that one, the Russian grandmother. Yes. Yeah, he definitely serves a purpose for, what they did with that series, but I still just would have preferred to go a different route and not have him be in it at all. Awesome Gamer. Yeah, he feels more like a plot device than a character. Fleshed off plot device, if you want to put it. Yep. I agree. Drama pusher, nothing more. Yeah. Danny versus Mickey. Well, that's not really. I'm in an actual fight. I feel like Danny would. Well, I don't know, maybe not, but he was a soldier. So, but if I had to choose between those two characters, I'm definitely picking Mickey. Oh my gosh, yes, Jennifer, yes, absolutely. Which we were just talking about. Listen, well, I wasn't. There was a conversation in Discord that I was like reading. If Tulip's on here, I think, and Paul, I think you both were in that conversation about Listen. Steven, I think you were as well. The whole thing with what was his name? Orson Pink or something. Yeah, Paul, we can differentiate between the two. Mickey all the way, Noel not so much. Yeah. Yeah, Charles, which then again just kind of goes back to him being a plot device, though. Mystical gymnastics ability that appeared only once. I don't remember that. When did he do gymnastics? Orson, yeah. Yeah, no, that's. Otherwise, I like that episode, but yeah, that whole thing just kind of like. Again, unnecessary. He does a flip over the robot in The Caretaker. Oh, I don't remember that. Which one's The Caretaker? Is that the creepy one? Let me go see. Or no, Listen's the creepy one, right? Jimmy, that's a way to look at it. For sure. I'm forgetting which one The Caretaker is. Which episode? Okay. I feel like that's definitely a valid opinion. I mean, well, all opinions are valid, but that's definitely valid that he just died from like a car accident. But then we had everything, with the Cybermen. Yeah, I love basically any moment, Sir Richard Owen, where the companions call the doctor out on their shit. I'm having a blank when it comes to the caretaker and the weird robot thing. I'm not even remembering it right now. And Cole Hill. Oh, okay. The janitor one. Okay, I guess I just don't remember the flip. I must have blocked it out because it was too ridiculous or something. Yeah, that episode was not my favorite. I do kind of feel like that's just another one, though, where he was definitely just like a plot device. But I feel like, again, his entire existence is that, so. That's interesting. Hadn't heard that Missy was the one driving the car and some fan versions. Bryn, I have blocked that out. I don't. That is not something I remember from that episode. Which I'm fine with. I'm fine not remembering that part. Yeah, Jennifer. It probably was. I mean, if they're going through all that trouble to do a stunt like that, I'm sure that's they took their time with it. Oh, Sir Richard Owen. Oh, well, good. I completely could not help myself in the moment, but yeah, like so many people probably were like, "What the hell is wrong with her?" Because if you don't know who he is, then you're probably wondering why I'm just like freaking out over this random guest star in this episode. But I love Lucifer and I love Tom Ellis, so. And I couldn't believe his name was Tom in the episode. Which I have heard, Tom Ellis is the guy from Miranda. Yes, Paul. Who was Tom in Last of the Time Lords. But I have heard I don't know, is it, I don't think it's just like a fan theory. Like I think, didn't somebody come out and say, like, RTD said supposedly what happened was that like Tom was abusive and that's why Martha and him not ended up, like, they broke up. Which, if that's the case, I'm just refusing to accept that. Yeah, so I know him from Lucifer. Which is why I lost my mind when I saw him. Sir Richard Owen, where are you at in it? We had another person here, Clara. She was in here for most of the chat. And she just finished Lucifer. She's on the Discord, and so she knows I love that show, and so she's been messaging me as she's been like going through the final 2 seasons and stuff. Paul, I'm with you. I love Mickey. I love Martha. It was fun seeing them together, but it definitely feel like it came completely out of the blue and was just like it didn't really make sense, and I love Tom. So yeah, I wanted her with Tom. Yeah, Bryn, I wish they would have stayed together too. Okay. You're so close to the end. You're so close. But that happens. That's happened to me with so many shows. And then like so much time passes that you don't really remember what's going on, so you feel like you got to go back, which then means it's going to take more time. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, Bryn, I completely agree. It was fun as a fan of the two of them, but it doesn't actually make any sense. And yes, Jimmy, yeah, at least Netflix saved Lucifer. I think I started watching it after that, maybe. Or like while all that was going on, maybe. So yeah, I got very, very lucky. Exactly, Steven. And Awesome Gamer, in which we had like what? Danny, not enjoyer. Okay, thanks, Steven. I'll check it out. And Tulip, yeah, I mean, I could see that. It's still like if it just hadn't come so randomly out of the blue, like if we had really seen them have any sort of anything before that, it wouldn't have been so bad. Don Runner stammering library husband, yeah. Charles, what? Are they? Someone please confirm whether or not Martha and Mickey are married in real life. Yeah, Jennifer, I think it can work. Like I'm not saying that I don't buy them as a couple, especially like because of course they would be able to form a connection that they probably couldn't with a lot of other people because they each know what the other's like been through. They know so many things and they can really get the other person. It just we didn't see any of that. And it had already been established that she was like engaged, I think, to Tom. So it just was like very odd. So if they had just given me a little bit of lead up to it, it would have been fine. I mean, I'm not opposed to seeing fan made stuff. But that stuff like that would just be like a bonuses over on Patreon just because they're not really things that are like worth putting out on YouTube just in terms of like the time to edit it and deal with copyright stuff, especially on fan made stuff. Because people get understandably so, they get very, very protective of the things that they've created. And so it's really easy to issue a copyright strike, not even a claim, but a copyright strike. And if I get 3 of those, then my channel gets shut down automatically. So got to be real careful with that stuff. So stuff like that would just be over on Patreon. Jimmy, that's a wild ride. So Richard, are you talking about the pilot for Lucifer? Yeah. Okay. See, for me, I mean, they're definitely, I liked Lucifer from the start, but again, I don't really like procedurals, and the show kind of started off that way as like a procedural where, we have like one case per episode and everything gets like wrapped up with a little bow. Now they gave us a little more than that than like a lot of other like traditional procedural shows do. And so like that's what had me drawn in. But yeah, once we got out of that, I got like way more invested in it, and I freaking love that show. I actually just finished a Lucifer rewatch. 2-3 weeks ago. I rewatch it like at least once a year, sometimes like twice a year. Yes, Bryn, he is. And I love it, in case you can't tell, because I haven't said it 18,000 times already. The episode that Chloe finds out. Was that supposed to be the original finale of the show from when it got canceled? That was going to be the last one? If so, that would be rough, and I am so glad that did not happen. Wow. Yeah, that's I would be livid if that's where it left off. I would then feel the same way about Lucifer as I do Santa Clarita Diet. I'm still pissed about that. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I feel like, because I mean, she would have. I don't know. I feel like because they both were like into the medical field and stuff. Like, I think they could have worked. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it doesn't really make sense when they don't go through what they went through together. After the year gets like reset, basically they go back in time. Like, how would he? How would they meet? How would they date? But like, it was clear they had a connection in that episode, though. So like, I think chemistry wise, they clicked. So I think they could have worked. Yeah, Jimmy, that makes sense. I wish I did Sir Richard Owen. It takes me a minute. It takes me a minute. And like I can really like shows from the start. Like Lucifer, I really enjoyed the pilot episode. I just wasn't one where I was like, "Oh my god, I love the show. I need to watch more right now." Like that almost never happens for me with a show. And yes, the charisma of that man makes me lose my mind, obviously. Paul. I mean, I don't feel like either one of them could look wrong with anybody. They're both freaking gorgeous. Yeah, Awesome Gamer, that is a very valid point. I'm glad they were able to finish up The Good Place. Okay, I was going to say, Charles, because I had never heard that. And I feel like that would have come up before. Oh, bye. Thank you so much for coming on. Freema, that's her name. I don't know why I couldn't think of it earlier. So Charles, he was in the reaction that I put out today. Series 3, episode 13. He's the one that like helps Martha on the very tail end of her journey there. Oh my God. Steven, can you even imagine if that actually were to like ever happen? If Tom Ellis was the doctor? My reactions would become unbearable because I wouldn't be able to focus on a damn word anybody said. Yeah, Bryn. That's what, like, I was already in shock that he was in the episode, and then he was like, "Oh, my name's Tom." I've never seen House. Are you talking about like the actual House, like the main doctor guy? What's his name? I don't remember his name. Something Laurie or something. Where am I with Good Omens? I have recorded the first 4 episodes. Hugh Laurie, yeah, I think that's his name. Yeah, Steven. So I have recorded episodes 1 through 4, and then I was not able to record for most of this week because of dental work. But I am going to hopefully get the rest of. I might even have. I don't know this yet. It just depends on how the rest of this weekend goes. I might have season 1 finished recording by the end of this weekend, but hopefully I will have all of 1 and 2 finished by the end of next week. Episode 3 just went out on Patreon today. Yeah, so once I get those 2 recorded and I start working on editing the episodes for YouTube, then they're going to start coming to YouTube. But the comments on the pilot episode or the first episode were definitely veering into spoiler territory, so I am recording both seasons first before I put the next episode on YouTube, but it is coming hopefully in like 2 weeks. The second episode will be out. Hopefully. That's if life doesn't go crazy again. We'll see. I'm also going camping next weekend, and I keep forgetting that, so that's going to limit my time, so I don't know. We'll see. I have a schedule, Jimmy. Let's see. Oh no, I just have a schedule when I'm going to be releasing them. So yeah, I don't know. Steven could probably answer though if he hasn't already. See, Paul, so yeah, I don't think I could do House. Like, I already have a problem with procedurals. And so if they don't give me that character stuff to keep me invested, like, I mean, Lucifer was definitely procedural. I mean, all the way through at times, but especially in the beginning. But they gave me enough other character stuff that I was good. Bones was another one that was that way too. Bones is definitely procedural, but they gave me enough other character stuff that I loved that show. But if they don't give me enough of that, then yeah. Jimmy, a lot of people don't seem to be a fan of these most recent series of Doctor Who. Oh, the date hasn't been confirmed yet. Yeah, Jimmy. So Bryn and Steven, Awesome Gamer, they're talking about like the air dates. So sometime in November, but it looks like the dates haven't been confirmed. I'll be watching them in January. And again, just because it's been a while and we have new people on, I know absolutely nothing about the 60th. Like, literally absolutely nothing, and we all want it to stay that way, so. Never seen Miami Vice. Who? So who is Gus? Bryn, I know it's wild that I'm almost caught up. Like, I mean, I'm only in series 10 now, but doing 2 episodes a week and not really taking a break ever, it adds up. And I'm not gonna know what to do with myself when I'm caught up. Because I mean, I'm finishing. I've already done Torchwood. I am finishing Sarah Jane Adventures in like 3 weeks, and then I'll be caught up with Doctor Who in January. It's so wild. Oh, it's awesome, gamer. So who is Gus? Thank you, Stephen. Yes. Debating on skipping. Oh, the series 11 to 13. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't seem to like those, but I mean, I never really go by what people like, what other people's opinions are. So, because I mean, that's the same with Supernatural. Like in Supernatural, generally speaking, the fandom, like by far the favorites are seasons 1 through 5, and by far the least favorites are like the last 3 to 5 seasons, and I'm the opposite of that. The first few seasons are my least favorite, and the last few seasons are my most favorite. So we'll see when I get to these later seasons or series of Doctor Who. See, for me, Charles, I actually liked that, having Amy and Rory there together, and I think it was also because like they were a couple. Once we got past the weird jealousy, tension stuff, I actually really kind of like just that dynamic of having like Amy and Rory there together, like as a couple with the Doctor. So is Gus the actor's name? I'm still not understanding who that is. Like, I get it's somebody who was in multiple episodes, but is it like the same character that pops back up, or is it like the actor's name? Hi, Smear. Welcome. Scariest scene or episode of Doctor Who I've seen so far. Oh boy, there's a lot. Blink was definitely scary. Girl in the Fireplace definitely had its scary moments. I don't remember it, but there's the one where it's like the wooden dolls, the two like life-size girl wood doll things. Those were so creepy. And then was it Listen? That one was super creepy. Like the scene with like in the like with the bed, the thing on the bed. Oh my god, I was yeah, that one was definitely creepy. But anything with I'm blanking right now. I'm totally blanking. Blink. What are they called? Weeping Angels. Anything with Weeping Angels is creepy. Let's see. Holy smokes, Psychosis Media. Really? I had no idea. Ed O'Neill doesn't surprise me as much, but that's just because I feel like he's not as big. But I mean, like Bruce Willis, Liam Neeson, Julia Roberts, those are some big names. No, that's okay. It's fine. I mean, the discussion of Gus was fine. Okay, Jimmy. Was it Night Terrors? Is that the one that it was? Yes, that's the one that it was. Not Listen, it was Night Terrors. Wait, yeah. No, Listen was the one with the creepy thing on the bed, and Night Terrors was the one with the wooden dolls. Is also the father. Maybe that's where I know him from. Because the whole time I've been watching, thank you, Steven. Yes, the whole time I've been watching Good Omens, I have been thinking that Adam's dad looked really familiar, but I could not remember where I knew him from. So maybe that was it. It's been driving me nuts, but I didn't want to like look anything up. Because I try not to IMDb things that I'm reacting to because I don't want to see like how many episodes characters are in and stuff like that. But every time he's on the screen, I'm like, I know him. Where do I know him from? That must be it. Bye, Sir Richard Owen. Thank you for joining us. No, Bryn, please do, because it normally drives me insane. Like whenever I'm like watching something just with my husband, and I see somebody in it and they look even vaguely familiar, I'm like, where do I know them from? And I literally have the IMDb app on my phone because I can't even be bothered to like access it through the internet. Like I have to have the direct access to that app because I have to look up where I know people from or it just drives me nuts. So like not doing that for the stuff I'm reacting to has been really difficult. So yeah, I always want to know. Always want to know. That said, I do like to be surprised when people I know pop up in shows I'm reacting to. So I do try to be, we try to be careful with like, oh, they're also in this show too. If I haven't seen it yet for that reason. But honestly, I forget a lot of that stuff anyways. So those are some of the less significant spoilers for me because I will probably forget what I'm told. Oh, I've never heard of either one of those. Casualty or Holby City. Bye, Psychosis Media. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'll probably be wrapping up here fairly soon. My husband just got home. And I haven't really spent that much time with him this week, so. Stephen. Yeah, the reusing of actors throws me off. When they reuse the same actors, but they're different characters in the same show, that messes with me. Awesome Gamer, I'm there with you. I am there with you. And then I usually have to tell my husband about it, and he's like, cool, I didn't care. I wasn't the one who was curious, you were. But especially because I feel like 9 times out of 10, they're either from Hawaii Five-0 or Supernatural is where I know them from. And he gets so sick of me saying that. Well, I do say like recycling actors throws me off, which Supernatural did it too, but recycling actors throws me off. But in the case of Capaldi, I'm glad they did it. Because he was on there 3 different times, played 3 different people. Although I think, isn't his character in Fires of Pompeii, is it just like, is it a fan theory or is it actually canon that he's, that his character in Torchwood is a descendant of that one? Yeah. Yeah, Martha's whole thing, that threw me off because it was literally like back to back. And they were playing identical cousins. Okay, Paul, thanks. I mean, I feel like at least they offered an explanation, which again, they did offer an explanation for they offered an explanation for the Doctor regenerating with that face. So I mean, at least they have addressed it, which they did with Martha, I guess, by saying Addie was her cousin, but I mean, at least it just wasn't like outright ignored. That actually reminds me, speaking of like these things and RTD confirming things, for those of you like Steven, Paul, if I remember correctly, when it was revealed that, like when I released a reaction, so like a year ago, it was revealed that Jack was the face of Bo. I thought I remembered somebody telling me that RTD like confirmed it on Twitter or something. Like he eventually confirmed that yes, it was true. But I don't know if I'm remembering that incorrectly. And a lot of people in the comments were saying like it never was confirmed. So I don't know. Was it actually confirmed? Like, is it actually like officially? Yeah, they didn't need one for Amy. Like I said, even when I knew it was her, I still couldn't really pick her out. Yeah, I definitely feel like that was more common back then, Paul. Okay, Bryn. Okay, Steven. See, and I thought I remembered somebody saying that he like confirmed it in a tweet, but again, I don't know. I didn't realize there were still like some people who, or like a lot of people who think that like it's possibly not true. Fun maybe thing, but not a definite. Interesting. Well, and then somebody else in a comment mentioned that in Utopia, I guess Martha says something about the face of Bo while Jack's in the room, and he doesn't acknowledge it. Oh, interesting. Awesome Gamer. So I wonder in Series 6, where would we have been at in Torchwood then? Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Steven. I feel like I'm taking it as it's true, but I didn't know if it had actually, like, I thought it had been like officially confirmed, but then a ton of the comments today were saying otherwise. Yeah, it would be interesting to see how he became the face of Bo as we know him. See, Brandon, I didn't go back and rewatch the moment they commented on, so like I couldn't remember what was happening in the moment. Like, was it loud in the room and maybe he just somehow didn't hear? I don't remember. I don't know what the circumstances were, but Stephen. Somebody else said that in one of the comments, I think, said that Jack was supposed to be headless at one point, and that's like how we got the explanation of how he became just a head. Yeah, Jimmy, that throws me off. Because I really, really... That's another one that actually that, like, I think in general most people didn't super like, but I actually really liked it. When I found out, though, after I watched it, that they were supposed to be married, or that they are married, it made the episode feel weird. And yeah, I do know that he's... So I did, because I had a lot of people ask if I watched the Time Crash minisode with David's father-in-law, and I did. Charles liked the cat nurses. Well, that makes one of us. Oh, he was doing series 4 at the time? Okay. The showrunner for The Doctor Lies, yeah. Paul. Who played Francine Jones? As in Martha's mom? Was one of the cat nurses? Was that Martha's mom's name? Francine? Yeah, okay. Yes, Stephen, he's been here longer than you have. Okay. I might need to wrap up because I think I can hear my husband in the kitchen cooking and stuff. Not that, like, he needs me in there to help or assist or supervise, but I'm just curious what he's doing. Yeah, I mean, I think these theories are fun and interesting to think about. Awesome gamer. Yeah, I mean, and that's like, I never would have dreamed when I, first started watching this show that, like, I'd watch Torchwood and I'd be watching Classic Who and I'd be almost finished with Sarah Jane Adventures and I would be doing some Big Finish stuff. But here we are. Thanks, Bryn. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, Michael, you just joined right as I'm wrapping up. But hi in Scotland. Love Scotland. We were actually, or I guess I was, talking about it earlier in the live. So glad you enjoy the reactions. I was just surprised I'm watching Sarah Jane Adventures. Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, it's not many do. It's I actually prefer Torchwood over Sarah Jane Adventures. But I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's fun. And there are definitely, I mean, there have been some really good standout stories that I've really enjoyed. I mean, I still have 3 more stories to go, but I think I know, okay. I know what my favorite story is so far. But I still have 3 more stories to go before I can say, like, officially which one of my favorite Sarah Jane story is. But okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you everybody for coming. I mean, a good chunk of you, I think, have been here like from the beginning, which is awesome. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate you watching the reactions and commenting and doing all of the things. You're all so amazing. Yeah. I mean, I look at like the comments and stuff on other reactors pages, and I feel like this is like really cliche to be like, I have the best, the best people on my channel, but I honestly really kind of feel that way. Like, yeah, you're just all wonderful and amazing, and I really, really enjoy like reading the comments and interacting, and so hopefully we can do more lives. But yeah, thanks so much for being here, and I will see you some other time.